Okay. Hi, everyone. So today I thought we would keep it really simple and just work with a yoga practice using only a chair. And I'm realizing hopefully you'll get to see all of me, but maybe not. Okay. So you're just going to find yourself a chair. This practice will also work on a sofa. So wherever you are comfortable. Go ahead and set yourself up. And then take a moment to place your feet underneath your knees, right? So none of this, but feet right underneath the knees. Hands facing the thighs, shoulders down. And as much of a tall spine as you can bring into your body in this moment. Now just close your eyes and find your breath. Breathing through your nose if you're able. And take a few just aware breaths. Breaths where you notice that you are in fact breathing. And then start to deepen that breath, maybe slowing it down a little more and looking for catches or hiccups in the breath, inviting those catches to kind of smooth out a little bit, all with a sense of ease and welcome. For example, if your breath has a stutter to it and you try to smooth it out and it just doesn't get any smoother, let that be okay. And with that same kind of curiosity and invitation, start to scan through the body, noticing your feet, lower leg, upper legs, noticing your hips, your spine, noticing your hands, your lower arm, upper arm, noticing your neck, your jaw, your face. Go back through that scan again, from the feet all the way back up to the face. And this time, not just noticing, but also keeping an eye out for tension in your body. Where do you store tension in your feet, your legs, your torso, your arms, your head? For now, just let that tension be. Just let it be like a thumbprint or a breath print. Let it be a tension print in your body, a little snapshot for now. So we're going to take our hands together now and just rub them together vigorously so you get some heat. You might not have to do much to get that heat depending on where you are and what your climate is. But if you are in a chillier place, maybe you've got some air conditioning blowing on you, you might need to do this a little longer. So feel that till it gets pretty warm. Ooh. And then turn your palms to face up and just let your hands rest on your thighs. You can close your eyes again, or you can leave your eyes open for this, but put your full attention on your palms. Notice the tingles. Notice how the heat is now dissipating. There might be some pulses. Or depending on what's going on with your hands, maybe there's some pain. Maybe there's some numbness. Some itching. Sometimes I get itching there. Just be aware of what you feel. Go ahead and turn your palms to face the thighs again. We're going to bring our attention to the feet. So we're just going to come up onto the balls of the feet and tap the balls of the feet against the floor. Maybe tap over to one side and tap over to the other side. Kind of fun. Back to the center. And then tap the heels down. So balls of the feet stay and you're just pounding the heels down. And in my wood house here, this is creating a little bit of a sound. A little shaking. Okay, and then just let your feet rest against the floor. You can leave the eyes open or closed, but feel any tingles, any pulses. It's a little subtler than with the hands, but it's there. You might even feel it more in the thighs. Maybe the heart is beating a little faster. Okay. Now we're going to bring our attention to the spine, and we're going to come into some very basic actions of the spine. The spine moves in variations of 5 different directions. So the first variation is elongation. And you're just going to take a couple of fingertips to the top of your head, and then using the muscles that live along the spine. You can also use the legs a little bit by pushing against the floor, but using those core muscles, you're going to reach the top of the head up into your fingertips. Notice I didn't say the chin, so neck stays long, and you breathe, and you feel that tall spine, very regal, right? You can release your hand and just continue to elongate through the spine. And then close your eyes for a moment or two and really touch on the muscles that you're recruiting to make this action happen. The muscles in your legs, if you're using your legs, or in your hips, your buttocks, in your back, in your belly. You might even feel some muscles along your neck. Sometimes my shoulders want to get involved. I don't need my shoulders to get involved, so I'll remind them to relax. Okay. And then if your eyes are closed, go ahead and open the eyes. So for these next few movements of the spine, I'm just going to show you from the side. I think that would be a little bit more informative. So this next one is going to be a backward bend. So I'm going to come forward on my chair. I invite you to do the same. If it feels like you're going to fall off, like if you're on a very soft surface, then don't come too far forward. And then what I want is to feel the surface I'm sitting on behind me. So whatever you need to do to get a little bit of space so that you can put your hands back there. Straighten the arms if you can. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other and begin to lift the chest. Feel the front of the body lifting up out of the hips. If it's okay with your neck, you might even bring your head back a little bit. If that creates any sense of dizziness or discomfort, tension, you can keep the chin dropped towards your chest. Just take a few breaths in this sort of back bend, right? The upper back is arching. Feel that opening up the front of the ribs, maybe even into the upper abdomen area. Okay, now from here, we're going to come back through neutral, back through our elongated spine, and we're going to come into the opposite position, which is the forward bend. Very simple. Like I said, that's the theme today. I'm just going to bring my forearms to the thighs. That could be it for me today. Or if it feels more okay to go a little bit further in this, or deep in this forward bend, I'm going to move my feet a little bit to the sides so that I can reach my torso down between the legs. And you can look back at the legs of your chair, maybe even reaching back for the legs of your chair. Drop the head. Breathe. And then very slowly begin to bring yourself back up. Hands come back to the thighs and slowly rise up. So far we've gotten 3 out of the 5 movements of the spine done. So it was an elongation, a back bend, and a forward bend. So the only 2 that are left are twisting and side bending. So we're just going to bring the feet back in line with the knees. And we'll start by sliding one hand back to the hip, it's same side hip, other hand forward to the knee. And the spine is nice and tall. You might stay here, or you might bring your arm to the back of your chair, maybe to the seat of your chair, whatever. Everybody's chairs are made a little differently, so whatever's comfortable for you. So you're twisting around your spine, keeping that elongation happening. And then slowly unwind. And we'll twist to the other direction. We want to maintain that same curiosity when we scan the body. We still want to have that same curiosity as we move into a shape. And then go ahead and unwind, pausing and feeling. Okay, now to prepare for the side bend, the side that I'm leaning towards, I'm going to take my hand and anchor it either to the seat of my chair or to the leg of my chair, whatever feels comfortable. And then I'm just going to start to lean to that side. And I can either do this with or without the opposite arm. Without the opposite arm, I really have to tip my head down to make this more of a side bend. With the arm, the side bend happens pretty quickly. Just see what you can do. And then when you're ready to come up, you really should push into your feet to bring the torso back up. That's a nice way to re-elongate the spine. Okay, let's take the other side. So now my supporting hand is coming to either the seat or the leg of the chair. I'm going to side bend towards that supporting hand and then either remain here with my other arm down, or if it's appropriate, the arm can come up and overhead. curiosity. How is this affecting the different parts of my body? And then to come up, push into your feet, rise, 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 and release. And then just rest your hands on your thighs. Eyes open or closed, it's up to you. Pause and feel. Okay. So I want to show you a couple of variations now. Things you can do if this inspires you to do a little bit more movement in the chair. So first thing you can do is sit sideways on your chair so that you have the back of your chair in one hand and the legs are draped over. And you're still going to be more on the edge of the chair because I want you to take your outside leg and just let that leg drop down. Okay? If I were to show this to you from the front, it would look like this, right? This is what we're doing. And then the toes of the back foot, if it's appropriate, can you put the top of the foot on the floor? And then can you scooch forward on your chair so that your hip and your knee of this back leg are perpendicular to the floor? That's a question. For some, that's just not going to happen. So just see if that's possible. So right away, we're starting to feel top of the foot getting a stretch, front of the thigh getting a stretch, and then we can create another back bend. This is the beginnings of a back bend, but we can create a bigger one by bringing this free hand up, 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 and maybe even leaning a little bit back. As you lean back, you're tucking the pelvis slightly under. Ooh, that gives you a nice quadricep stretch. Beautiful. And then come back to center, bring both legs together. And the leg that wasn't getting stretched before, go ahead and straighten that leg out and just fold forward over it to get the back of the leg stretched. So here's your forward fold, but now with the legs straight. And you can pull the toes back. That feels appropriate. And then come back up, and we'll try the other side. So backward bend first. Remember, you're going to be sideways on your chair. Back leg goes back. If it's possible, put the top of the foot on the floor. And then again, if it's possible, can you have your knee and your hip perpendicular to the floor? These are all questions. If you're here, that's fine. That's where you are. Let that be the shape for you today. And then to create a little bit more of a back bend, you can bring this free hand up and maybe even back, tucking the pelvis under so that you don't get a big crunch in the back. And breathe. And then you come back up, bring both legs together. And the leg that you hadn't stretched yet, that one's going to come forward and lean over that straight leg, any amount. And this leg here is just wherever it needs to be to not be in the way. So I kind of move my unaffected leg off to the side. Okay, and then come back up. Good, come back to center. Put your fingertips up on the top of your head, push your feet into the floor, elongate your spine. Feel that length through the spine. Feel that connection to the earth. And it's almost as if you're also connecting to the sky. Breathe. Okay. One last round of variations that you can do in the chair. And these ones will ask you to stand up for. So I'm going to put my go. So I'm going to turn the chair so that the back of the chair is accessible to me. I'm going to start with that back bend. So feet underneath the hips. Push the feet into the floor. Legs will go straight, but the knees are not locked. And then top of your head up towards the sky, like you were just doing in the chair. This is our elongation. But now put your fingertips on the back of the chair. Push down into the back of the chair. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Lift the chest. So feet are going down, chest is going up, shoulder blades dropping down. This is like the very opening position we took. And you breathe. Okay, and then to come out, you look forward, find equilibrium. And then to counter that with a forward bend, just going to step the feet back and make a shape that is similar to a 90-degree angle between your legs and your torso. If this is hard on your shoulders, you can always turn the chair around and make the shape this way, okay? So that the arms are going down. So what we're looking for here is a stretch along the back surface of the body. And then come back up. Walk the feet in. Okay. And now we're going to turn the chair once again so that you have access to the back of the chair. And take a few moments to bring one leg up, one foot up onto the seat of the chair. Now, if this is too high, then you could bring a block or a shorter stool and set your foot on that instead. Okay? So now elongate the spine, send the heel down, rise all the way up through the top of your head, and then twist towards the back of the chair, towards this bent leg. If you feel steady, if you feel balanced, you can remain here, or you might even bring your arms out. And then slowly unwind and bring that foot down. And let's try the other side. So I'm just going to flip the chair around. Other leg on top. Find your alignment first, right? You have to find that elongation through the spine. Then you turn the spine towards the back of the chair. Try not to let this leg wobble around too much, but keep it firm as well. And if you feel steady, you can stay in this position, or if you feel steady, you can open the arms. You can start to reach through the fingertips. Breathe. Good. And then slowly release. Okay. And then we're going to do my very favorite chair pose. So you're going to come back into that kind of lunge position, one leg forward, other leg back. But I'm going to let this back leg, I'm going to let it be kind of out to the side a little bit. It's not directly in line with my front leg. Okay? And it's okay if this back knee needs to be bent. Sometimes if I try to force my leg to be straight in this position, I get a cramp around the hip. So don't force anything that creates pain. So from here, I'm just going to start to bring my forearm down to the bent front leg. There we go. So I'm starting to create this diagonal line from my back heel up through the top of my head. This is a nice stretch, nice opening. If that feels okay to go a little bit more into that opening, then you can take the free arm and reach it up overhead. And really feel that length from that back heel all the way up through the fingertips. And you might try turning towards the floor or towards the ceiling just to kind of fine tune that sensation. And then release and slowly come out of the shape. And then we'll switch to the other side. So remember, lots of options for this back leg. It is important that you are towards the edge of the chair. If you're way back here, you're never going to be able to get this leg to ground, especially if you have shorter legs like mine. Okay. Once you get the legs sorted out, then you take your forearm to your thigh. Feel what that's like. You can stay here, or you can bring this arm overhead. Really looking for that side bend, that length through the side of the body. So if you get that sensation of opening the side body right away, there's no need to go further unless it feels okay. And there is nothing that is, there's no hierarchy to these shapes. Okay, and then slowly come on up out of that shape and turn yourself forward once again. And take a moment, like we did at the beginning, to scan through the body, bottoms of your feet, lower legs, upper legs, hips, spine, hands, forearms, upper arms, shoulders, neck, jaw, face. Scan once again from the feet all the way up to the face, and this time observe those places where you felt tension at the opening of class. Find those pockets, those dark corners. Notice if anything has shifted for you. And if nothing has shifted, that's okay. This is where we are today. And then slowly let the arms float out to the sides and up overhead. And then bring the palms together at the center of your chest as a symbol of honor and respect and gratitude. Thank you.